I'm Tom Season, and this is Massillon Magazine. Election Day is upon us, Tuesday, November 7th, and the people of Massillon has some very important issues facing them to vote on. Not only state issues, but some financial issues, and also every city council seat is up for grabs. And it's my pleasure during this edition of Massillon Magazine to speak with Sarita Cunningham, who is a Republican incumbent for Ward 1. Hello, Sarita.
Hi, Tom. Thank you so very much for this opportunity.
Well, it's good to have you. And I'd like to start out by asking you to just tell the viewers just a little bit about yourself. I know a lot of people know who you are, but many might, and many might not know about all the things that you've done in your life. So just give us a little bit of background about yourself.
Okay, I'm a graduate of Massillon Washington High School. I can't say I was born here because I was born in Wellsville, but I can say I'm a true Tiger because the Wellsville are the Wellsville Tigers. Moved here when I was 3 years old with my family. Graduate of Washington High School. My husband, in fact, both of my husbands that have passed were both graduates of Massillon. I've had 4 children, 2 have survived. I been very community involved. I've been, because of the death of Jessica in 1979, I became involved in an organization called the Compassionate Friends, which is very near and dear to my heart, which is an organization nationally as well as international that helps bereaved parents survive and move on in a positive manner. And it has been 38 years since Jessica's passing, and I've been involved not only as a chapter leader, Northeast Ohio Regional Coordinator, and I did have the opportunity to be elected to a 3-year term on the National Board of Directors. I'm also on the Massillon Alumni Association with you. We are both graduates of '67. Yes, that makes me old. I don't know about you, Tom. And I belong to Faith Community Fellowship. And I've also been working as a poll worker for since 1975. And my late husband Joel and I started Quick Print, which we had been downtown in 3 different locations since 1942, or for 42 years. And I'm still in business. I kept that going even after his passing. I think that's pretty much it.
Well, that's good. That shows that you're really involved in the community. Now, I know that you have been going around and talking to the people of Ward 1. So what are they telling you? What do they feel are the most important issues in the ward and also in the city in general? What are you hearing?
In my ward, as I've been walking and dropping off literature, in my ward, which I am concerned on the whole city, and I do get calls from other wards of people as well. But in our ward, the fire station, reopening station number 3 has been the biggest concern of people for our safety. Also in my ward, as well as in the city, in which council did update ordinances for the empty and abandoned homes. That is one of my biggest concerns, because if we don't have families with the children moving into our homes, we're not even going to have to worry about our downtown, which there's a front moving to revitalize the downtown as well, which is important. But I feel what is more important is filling these empty homes, and how people can just walk away and abandon these homes just absolutely amazes me. And one thing I did want to mention, I've heard some scuttlebutt that I'm old. I don't know about you, Tom, but I really don't consider myself old. And we need mature people on council. And many times things come to council, come to the council floor, and the knowledge of our past history could prevent council from making mistakes of the past and move us into the future.
That's right. Wisdom and experience.
Absolutely.
That's important. Okay, you've been on council for a while. What do you, as a council person, see as some of the issues, and how are you going to go about working on them, and what have you done in the past to help resolve some of these issues that you see, not only in your ward, but citywide?
One of the biggest things that I am proud that we have been able to accomplish on council was the fact that we allowed the citizens to vote on how we were going to raise money. Nobody likes having their taxes raised, but there was a motion to use it as property taxes. I own my home. I've lived in my home since for 40 years actually, and I don't like my taxes raised. And a lot of property owners are always hit all the time. And when we were able to pass the income tax, which we were able to pass the street department tax for the streets, which I am so grateful that the citizens realized that we needed help to do that. That was one of my biggest concerns, that we were able to allow the citizens to vote in that manner.
Okay, good. All right, you have two other persons running against you in Ward 1, which is really unusual, but I guess it's good that people have a choice. So what makes you feel that you are the most qualified and competent person to be reelected to the Ward 1 council seat?
Change is always good, but in this situation, I think again, the knowledge and the history and the fact that I have the experience. And believe me, 6 years ago when I came on board, it's a lot to learn about. And I feel that the council is we get along, we're moving forward, and I believe one of my biggest, what I think is the biggest asset for myself as a council person, I never ignore a phone call. I always answer people back and try to resolve whatever situation that they believe is of the utmost importance, which it is for them. And what I try to do is do the best for the most people involved. And I think that's one of my biggest assets, is the fact that I've never ignored anybody, and I've always tried to help them in the best way possible. And I've even gotten phone calls from other wards, because they say, hey, you know, if you give Sarita a call, she's going to be able to help you out. And I have been able to do that, along with help from the city as well.
Okay, you've told us a little bit about yourself and your background and who you are and what you've done and your community involvement. You've talked about what the people in your ward are telling you. You've talked about what you see are issues and how you would go about working to resolve them. Is there anything else you'd like to add? What else would you like the people who are watching this edition of Massillon Magazine know about you or the city or whatever?
Well, right now, last evening, I think you're quite aware, was a public forum for the 3 options for the Massillon Reservoir. And the Resi, as we call it, and I know, Tom, we used to ice skate on the
Yes,
reservoir
we did.
when we were, knee-high to a grasshopper.
Yes.
And the biggest thing is people need to come out, they need to listen. There's 3 options, 3 amounts, and they're all very expensive ways to preserve the reservoir. And no decision has been made from council's aspect or from the administration, because we're taking input from the entire city. And it was a very good turnout last evening, and there's going to be 2 more meetings coming up, the 25th and the 31st. The 25th is for wards 1, 2, and 3. The same forum and questions and answers can be given. And also then the 31st for wards 4, 5, and 6. But you could go to either meeting. I know the reservoir is a big question mark. Nobody likes to see what happened to it, but we have to be responsible. We have to figure out what's going to be the best option for the city, but we want the citizens' input.
Well, I thank you for your time, and I really would encourage the voters of the city of Massillon to go out to the polls on Tuesday, November 7th, and vote. And it's important that the individuals have an informed choice, to be able to make good choices about what they're voting for and who they're voting for. And it's my hope that this candidate forum, speaking with Sarita, who is the incumbent for Ward 1, will help individuals be able to make that choice. So get out and vote, and I thank you very much.